It's fair to say that I spend too much time in front of the television. At the end of a long day, I tend to crash on the couch in front of a series and let the hours flow by as I unwind. But after years of doing this, I started to feel like my downtime was wasted. So over the past 2 years, I've been listening to audiobooks as a way to explore new topics, like entrepreneurship, leadership, and cognition, without it feeling like learning is an additional burden. I was never the kind of kid you would find reading just for fun. In fact, aside from the Harry Potter series, there's very few books that I've ever really embraced willingly. So when I tried listening to audiobooks for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised by how engaging they could be while still fitting into my busy lifestyle. I started my audiobook journey with Audible, as many people do, and I still pay for an annual subscription. But earlier this year, I was introduced to the Libby app by Overdrive. So I wanted to share it in this video because while it's not perfect, I think it's something worth exploring if you're looking to boost your pastime productivity with audiobooks, but you're not interested in tacking on another subscription. After all, it's free. Libby is an app that manages access to your public library's digital collection of ebooks and audiobooks. Just to be upfront, I haven't used it for ebooks, so I won't be commenting on that, but one note of interest is that if you're with a library in the United States, you can use Libby to send audiobooks to your Kindle e-reader, which I thought was neat. To get started, all you really need is a library card, and if you don't have one, Libby will try to help you register for one at your local branch using the "I would like a library card" feature. I was fortunate enough that my library let me register online, which is something that's becoming far more common during COVID-19, but depending on where you live, you may have to make the physical trip. Once you're set up, the app's home screen lets you browse recommendations from your local library. This is also where you can alter your preferences, which I have set to English and audiobooks, and where you can explore the library or launch a search to find something more specific. If you find something you're interested in, you can see the format, then check when it will be available, listen to a sample, and place a hold so that it gets added to your shelf when it becomes available if it isn't ready for immediate rental. Because you're renting titles from a public library, there are only so many licensed copies that can be shared between everyone at the same time, which means that, like a physical book, there can be a wait list. This is the biggest drawback, in my opinion, to using Libby compared to a paid service like Audible. You're not going to have access to every book that you want, and you'll spend some time waiting, but I think those are fair trade-offs considering that it's free. So I like to use Libby in addition to Audible because it lets me take a chance on books that I may not want to own. Then I use Audible to fill in the gaps, or for titles that I know I want to listen to over and over again. You also have the ability to add multiple libraries to your Libby account. So if you're fortunate enough to be a member of different libraries, you can get access to more titles and cut down on your wait times. Once you have a book picked out though, you can migrate over to your bookshelf to see all of the titles that you have on loan, hold, or that you've tagged. Here you can download the book when it's available, which allows you to read even when you're offline. Jumping into the book that I'm reading now, we can see that the interface is pretty nice. I wouldn't say it's as clean as the Audible experience, but you have access to all of the controls you need, like changing the playback speed, setting a sleep timer, making a bookmark or recording an audio highlight and leaving a note, as well as jumping forward or back and accessing the index to go to a specific chapter. The first few times I used Libby, I found it to be a lot to take in, but it didn't take long to get used to. One of my favorite things is how the audio player theme changes to match the book jacket. It's a small thing, but it's a nice touch. In addition to the access problem though, the other main issue worth noting is that you only get access to the book for a limited time when it becomes available. For my library, that's 21 days, so you'll have to be ready to finish the book in that time frame once you've checked it out. Otherwise, you'd have to get back in line and continue listening later. I haven't had this time limit be an issue yet, but it's something worth considering. You also don't have a lot of control over how busy you'll be when the audiobooks eventually become available. And since I usually place several on hold while browsing the library catalog, there are times that one becomes available before I'm done the previous one. Fortunately though, Libby allows you to manage your hold, and whenever a book becomes available, you can ask for it to be delivered later, and then you can delay your receipt of the book for up to 180 days. Another benefit worth mentioning is that Libby has a web player that synchronizes to your account, so you can pick up where you left off if you decide to switch from your phone to your computer while working. Finally, if you decide to give Libby a try and you're getting lost or confused, They have a nice Learn Libby resource section with videos to guide you through most of the tasks you'll need to know. Overall, I feel like my downtime has become much more productive since I discovered Libby, because I don't hesitate to cash in credits to read audiobooks the same way I would when I was only using Audible. And though I still spend more time than I probably should in front of the TV, I find it very rewarding to take a break every now and then and kick back with a good book to learn something new. I hope this video has helped inspire you to give audiobooks a try if the cost had been holding you back. I'll leave a list of some of my favorite audiobooks in the description below if you're looking for recommendations, and as always, if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.